What is up, YouTube? Supreme Builds family. How you guys doing today? Happy Sunday to everybody. You guys hear me okay? I had to do some updates on the computer, so I want to make sure everything is working right. What's up, Storm? What's up, Azriel? Carl, Michael, DT. What's up, guys? What's up, Taylor? Hear you fine. Awesome. Okay, good. It's been a little while. Graham, what's up, Graham? What's up, Ash, Charles? Kiko's in the house. Hey, Martha. What's up, Mark? Melvin, Greg, Scouser, Sandy, Charmaine. What's going on, guys? Am I the only one that watches the commercials before the live? I think everybody that joins gets like one ad when they pop in or something like that. What's up, JC? DT said, how come I'm not sitting in the Titan? I'm still trying to make sure I like this one. I'm in the Omega. What's up, everybody? Moist, Night Owl. What's up, John? What's up, Javier? Giorgio, how you doing? JC switched to green team last night. That's what's up. So listen, guys. Obviously, there's all kinds of things happening. Trying to set up NAS on Pi. When am I going to do one? I got to do one pretty soon, honestly. I just been a little swamped with all the things that's been going on. Gordon said, great, a time I'm not in bed. Ash says Verizon is blocking upstate if no VPN. I don't know, I haven't had that happen here in the city at all, but haven't checked that ROM out yet, Salvatore. What's up, Part Music? Morning, D-Rup. Michael says, what's up, Michael? Michael's just jumping right in. What do you think of IPTV situation for the long term? Kiko said he finally switched to Nord. Yeah, I like Nord. Nord and Pia. Those are my two, man. I got no issues with either of those. I'm going to open this up too, like in general, but in a little bit. I'm going to open it up to like, you know, my Zoom stuff so people can jump in. But I do want to say one thing, just touching off the question Michael asked too. Kind of get into that a little bit. As far as the whole IPTV situation goes in general, I mean, this is not really all that different from when they go ahead and they shut down other stuff in Kodi and things like that. Honestly, it's not really all that different. It's, you know, they calculate things, they make certain, you know, advancements to try to stop something, and then something else pops up. And that's all that's going to happen here. It's not, I don't even think that they realize exactly 100% like what they did. You know what I mean? They went after a software company that actually makes legal software, which is kind of weird. The company does not market their software towards IPTV. They market their software towards businesses, towards like, you guys ever stay in a hotel and you turn on the TV and there's like a channel for the Hilton that says like Hilton in the corner, and they show you different hotels or something like that? You can use that. Like, that software can be used for that. And that's kind of how they market it. Now, if somebody goes along on the internet and finds this software and figures, hey, I can use this software to also do something else with it, why is that the software company's problem? They're not responsible for what someone else does with something after they buy it. That's like, I go ahead and I pay for my internet service, right? Do you think if I do something illegal and go on the black net and do something crazy on my internet service that my ISP is supposed to be responsible for that? Not really. I did it. That's my fault. So they didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So like it's kind of a wonky scenario the way that kind of came about. So I don't think that this will hold up long term anyway, as far as like some kind of IPTV stoppage per se, you know. The other thing I want to say about this too is I didn't come on here. I mean, I was busy, but two, to come on here, I've seen so many people come on, and I'm not talking about like other people that we know. Like I know Bo came on, he had a great show. I went on his show. I'm not talking about that. But if you search on YouTube, like I literally just saw one while I was updating my drivers before I came on, where somebody that runs an IPTV service that has like 100,000 subscribers to their YouTube comes on and gives all kinds of detailed information about software and fixes and all, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if you're that dumb, I'm not out here. If I'm a consumer, I'm not trying to give you my money. Like, why are you? You can go on, and if you're using YouTube to peddle service to people, first of all, that's a bad idea. You really, that's why like you don't see me running around talking about IPTV all day on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, that's a stupid idea. That number one, because it's like, for those of you that watch The Wire, you remember like the scene where they're in the little room I think it was in the back of the funeral home, and Stringer said, "Are you taking a notes on a fucking criminal conspiracy? It needs to be a 40-degree day. Like, what are you doing? Why are you out here going, hi, I sell IPTV, and I want you to know I'm working on it." It's just stupid. It's the dumbest thing you could do. So when you see people out here doing this, just don't even, like, I wouldn't even associate with those people. It's just the dumbest thing you could possibly do. Like, given the climate of it, I can't even understand it. So, that's one. Two, the software company, like I said, technically, unless they can be pinned as actually doing something themselves illegal, I don't think they're going to end up under forever. That's two. Three, they were the biggest company. Probably 99.9% of every service used that company. And the fact that it's a middleware company, right, means that it going down can affect the ability of people to administer services. But nobody was out there targeting services like specifically, except for maybe like one or two in Italy when you read that article. So like nobody's taken down streams, nobody's taken down servers for services, things like that. You know what I mean? So it was really the middleware that was targeted, and it may have come about because of the fact that they may have found one or two services that were operating locally somewhere in Europe, and maybe they somehow, it's not hard to figure out what that middleware company is, because if you get a panel or something like that, everyone logs in through that middleware company. That's kind of how it works. So I could understand, even possibly, if there wasn't a really good investigation that was strong or something, to say, oh well, here's a company clearly involved in this. But that software, that middleware, is installed on individual people's servers. It's not running out of the software companies. Like, each individual installation is itself. That's why, like, when you're at the hotel and the hotel has its own channel, you can't see that channel anywhere else because it's on the hotel's server. So it's a weird thing, and that's why some of these things are still up, because the actual process is installed on their, like, on the services servers, right? So it has a callback feature just to say, hey, I pay for this service, it's legit, which is why it's creating issues where their main server goes down, but the individual information is contained on each person's server. So they're not gonna, find, like, each person watching across every service just by going to this middleware company's, database or whatever. It's a weird scenario. It really is. And it's something that I think in due time, like I said, unless that company was into something that can actually be proven illegal and took direct money for something that was illegal, then they'll wind up fine. You know what I mean? But that's going to take time because they made a big deal out of this investigation and they put it up everywhere. But aside from that, one thing I will say that I found very interesting, right? Everybody that was up early that day and saw this news breaking knows that Torrent Freak made that news. Like, they had it hours before anybody. And that should really raise some red flags for people. It did for me. Like, there's always been some skepticism about Torrent Freak and how much, maybe they are helping to try to, get this thing going. But their information, was like, Reuters didn't have a story. And Reuters is like a worldwide major news organization. They did not have a story for hours and hours until after Torrent Freak did. Torrent Freak is just a website. It's not like some major, news organization like Reuters. So I do not support. I find it hard to believe that they are not in some way on trying to help hurt these type of things, whether it's Cody. They've done it for Cody plenty of times, had stuff out earlier. They've done it for, they clearly were out ahead of the ball game for this. So I definitely think Torrent Freak is snitching as much as 6ix9ine's been snitching in court. I'm just no longer going to, I always said, when people asked before, I don't know. And I've always said, I don't want to put anybody down for, doing something that I can't say they've done. And I still can't say they've done it, but it sure looks suspicious now. I have reason to be like, all right, I'm going to stay the hell away from that. I think it's ludicrous. And when, just in general, to have that story that early was definitely like, you had some kind of crazy info. Then you get people that go online and create all this havoc and all this chaos, right? And I hate that too. Like, people go and jump online for chaos, right? And it's like just to create a panic to get clicks, especially on YouTube. I gotta say that. Like, I despise each and every. I can't say I despise the YouTuber. I despise their thought process to jump online immediately and create panic. If you're jumping online to give information, that's fine. If you're jumping online to say, hey, don't worry. If you have info that can tell people, don't worry, we'll, we know something that, can be a workaround or whatever. That's cool. Don't jump online with your giant all caps headline that says IPTV's dead forever. Just shut up. Like, stop that. Your 50 cents matters that much, people? Like, come on, man. Like, your clicks matter that much that you need to incite like a giant community of people to then, because you know what happens when people do that, right? People listen to them, right? And then they go and they get upset and they get scared and they get whatever. And they literally go and they start asking around to service providers and resellers and all kinds of stuff that are busy trying to get stuff under control and get stuff done. And instead, what's happening is they are... JC, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Instead of being able to just do that and try to figure stuff out and get stuff done, now they're answering a gazillion people's questions all over the place because some guy wanted to get his 50 cents in. And I just think that's ridiculous. Like, are you really helping the community by doing that, or are you just helping yourself? You're trying to help yourself to some clicks by jumping into something right away early. And I don't subscribe to that kind of, like, practice. I don't think it's right. So that's another thing about that I'll say. So you guys as YouTube subscribers to channels, if you see people doing that, I would not click on the video. That's just me. Like, that's my advice to y'all, because you can read the same thing somebody's jumping on and telling you online, and somebody else is going to come online, like the way Bo did the other day, and he came online and just said, hey, this just happened, and let's get people in here and see if they can shed any information on it. And I jumped on his show, and a bunch of other people jumped on his show, and that's cool. That's fine. Do that. But everybody on the show was telling people, we don't know exactly what it is yet. Stay calm, relax. Not, the world is over. Like that. Don't subscribe to people like that. That's just ridiculous nonsense. Like, exactly, Fladnag. Fladnag said it brings unwanted and unnecessary attention to it all. Imagine this too, guys. This is the kind of stuff that kills me, right? Let's say this investigation didn't even 100% know how many services the software company that they affected used that service. Because they clearly stated they were investigating like 2 services or something in Italy. And like I said, it's very easy to find out that Kiko and Joe, thank you for joining the channel. I appreciate it. It's super easy in general to find out that any one service... I'll let that run. I like to give you guys your second there on the screen. Joe, thank you. What? It shows Kiko did it first, but it sent... There we go. All right. Kiko, thank you. Yeah, see, like Fladnag says, in the UK, that XC software is used in hospitals. And that's what I mean. Like, it's a weird thing. I don't see them being able to totally shut this down, like that software down. But my point here is, right, most regular people that use services don't even know what that software is. It would be people that run services, resellers, things of that nature might know about it. And even resellers would have, like, unless you're really educated on it, you wouldn't even know. D, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. You wouldn't even know what, even if you were possibly a reseller, you wouldn't even know all the things that software is capable of if you've only ever been a reseller. All right? But people that run services know what it is. But let's just take this investigation for 1 second, and I'm going to give you guys a scenario. This is why I hate, another reason why I hate this kind of stuff on YouTube. Maybe this, it's like this investigation in Europe goes into two Italian services. They figure out that the middleware is the company that they shut down. And they go and shut it down. And they just think, hey, we made a nice little score. And maybe they have no clue as to how many things use this service across the place. Now, but guess what? Now they do. Why? Because everybody and their mama had to jump on YouTube and jump on the internet and make their articles and their websites going, oh my goodness, it's the IPTV apocalypse. And then they can read that just like we could read what they did. And then they can go, oh, well, let's really dig deep in this. Let's figure out more stuff. Let's keep going this way. It's just stupid. Giorgio, thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Use your mind, people. Like, don't go out on a public forum and make something bigger than what it is before you know it's bigger. It's like the dumbest thing you could do. You know, like, that's why I just don't understand it. Like, I don't understand people's mindset. Like, the only reason you would do that, the only damn reason you do that is because you want your clicks. That is not being part of the community in a proper and positive way. That is being out there for yourself, trying to make a couple of extra dollars because you feel like people are going to want to know about this. And, you know, it's... And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with bringing news. But what you're doing when you don't know how much somebody else knows in an investigation, when you jump in on YouTube and you go, hey, this is what they really did, this is what it actually affected, this is what really happened. It's like walking into the police station when you know they want to question you for something and just walking in and going, nah, I ain't killed that girl, but I killed 20 other girls. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just dumb. Like, why? Like, who's gonna do that? It's stupid. You know, like it don't make no sense. It's really, it boggles my brain. To especially when these people, these same people that are jumping on, are the ones that sell service. If you sell it, shut the fuck up. Like, just shut up. What are you doing? Like, you want them to come and go, let's find out who that guy is. Let's find out who, like, where do you guys come from? Like, I don't know, maybe it's a New York City thing. Like, shut up. Just be quiet, man. Like, it just don't make any sense. Makes no, like, let's go snitch on myself. Let's go tell people that are looking at stuff right now exactly what they've done and how much more they may have, affected things than they even know. Let's go give them a bigger ego and more things to go look at. Why would you do that? Sean said to cut. Yeah, well, he's from a whole different, generation than I am, though. It's just dumb, and I advise you guys that come in here and see this show, whether it's now or in the future, to look back on any instances like this. Look at people. That's why I always said it. Like, I don't name drop very often for other YouTubers and things like that, and I don't even want to call out YouTubers' names, but there are some that aren't here anymore, that aren't making videos anymore. But they were some of the biggest clickbaiters ever. And, some of them went on, and every single time something happened or an add-on went down in Cody, they were like, Cody's dead. Cody's gone. The world is over. This and that. And people ate it up over and over and over again. And I just sat there and went, like, come on, man. Like, It's, yeah, Shine said it. Like, though, that's all for clicks. And I really want you guys to know that, because that is like what shouldn't be supported on YouTube, in my opinion. Like, there should be no support of that kind of behavior on that. If anybody else you see, I don't know who they are now. I don't have time to watch a bunch of people's stuff, you know. But I did catch a couple of things that popped up on my feed and that people sent me of other people talking about this subject. And, the God's honest truth, Larry, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. The God's honest truth of this scenario is, you guys as subscribers of channels, as watchers of channels, need to look at videos that you see. I'll let Larry's animation go. Thank you again, Larry. Much appreciated. You guys need to watch videos of other people, and me too, and say, what not only is to ask, does this person bring me good information, but what is this person's motive to give you this information? Does this video seem like a video that's just trying to incite, some kind of chaos or some kind of fear? If it is, don't subscribe to it. Click unsubscribe. That's what I do. I click unsubscribe on everything. I don't care if you made one video. I don't care if you made 10 videos, 15 videos, 20 videos that are good. If every time something happens, you are on YouTube trying to create fear and panic in the people that choose to watch your channel, then you are a bad YouTuber. And that's just how I see it. Sorry. Like, you should not be jumping on, inciting fear on the people that look to you for advice and the people that look to you to help them. That's just wrong. It's not right. You shouldn't be doing that to people. So, look at that kind of stuff, guys. When you are watching people. Me, myself, and I said, who did this? What person? No, I mean, I've seen a couple of things, like on this scenario, just on channels that I've never even seen these channels before. Like I said, there was one that was Kiko, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, my man. There was one I've never seen before, but the guy was literally on YouTube talking about how he runs the service. And thank you, Kiko. Much appreciated. The guy was on YouTube talking about how he runs the service and how he's got fixes in the works and going into details about what the fixes are. Michael, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. And given all these details about how the middleware worked, what it did. And that's cool. I'm not saying that you can't give that info to people. I've given it to people. Michael, thank you again for the super chat. I appreciate it. But I don't jump out on YouTube and give it to the world. That's just dumb. Like, again, why would you do that? Why would you go out and say, hi, I run a service and this is what happened? I get transparency, but you should have a private forum to be transparent for anybody that is paying you some money for that. We don't run any services here, so I don't have to worry about that. But if I did, I certainly wouldn't come on YouTube and be like, hey, I run a service and I'm the best at it. Like, this guy was tooting his own horn and stuff like that. It was crazy. Like, it really boggled my mind. I don't even know what service he runs. Lucky, thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Just bizarre, man. Like totally bizarre behavior. Yeah, exactly, Donald D. Nice said that should be in Discord or Telegram, something like that, where you have a means of privately communicating with people, all right, to explain to them what's going on. I have no problem explaining to somebody, you know, what that middleware does. Like I said, number one, it doesn't hurt me in any way. I don't run any services. So it's fine. But even if I did, I wouldn't mind explaining it. People, if somebody pays you for something, they deserve transparency for what they paid you for. You know, that's just how I see it. So that's cool. But this is one of those scenarios, like when somebody asks me, hey, how do I install Gaia? I'll go on YouTube and show you how to do that, because guess what? Installing Gaia is not illegal. It's not something that somebody's going to knock my door down for. So I'm going to go on YouTube and make a video, and then I'm going to share it with you how to install Gaia, right? That's a totally different scenario than going on YouTube. Like, that'll save me a lot of time, because I can just, right, copy and paste my video link to you and the 100 or 200 or 300 or 1,000 other people that want to know. Instead of, think about how much longer it takes for me to type that out to people. So in that scenario, it makes sense. That's what YouTube is really for, to teach people how to do things. This is not teaching people anything. This is explaining to people, and you should do that too, especially if you've taken some money from somebody. You should be able to explain something to them. But you don't go on YouTube and be like, yeah, my panels are down, and this company name is down, and it's messing up everything, and I can't make any money, and I can't help you, and I can't do this, and I can't do, like, that doesn't help anybody. Get yourself a private group somewhere, give the link to everybody that's ever paid you some money for something, and just make a statement and paste it in the group and pin it there. And that's how you don't have people knocking your door down someday going, yeah, so we got video evidence of you. Like, it's just stupid. It's so dumb. So dumb. Like, the dumbest thing ever. It really is. Like, you snitching on yourself. Like, so stupid. Let me answer some questions in here. Sean says, I think YouTube helps and hurts the streaming community in a lot of ways. In a way, that's true, Shine. But it's more about the YouTuber, I think. Like, we've all had to adapt. I've had to adapt. I had my strikes that came against me, you know, a while back, where I couldn't go live for a while. Now they demonetize a lot of my videos, you know, things of that nature. But I still come out here and I adapt and I change the way I do things. Like the video for this remote that I just did not that long ago, whatever it was, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, right? And I literally clicked on PBS channel and they shut my video down and blocked it worldwide. It's PBS. I was like, seriously? Okay. So I just came back on and made another video and said, hey, I can't show you anything. I purposely set my channel to PBS before I did that video, because PBS is free. And I figured I got to show, you know, it's a remote. I got to show people, you know, does the play button work? Does the pause button work? Things like that. Ash, thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And they shut it down. So what did I do? I ate my dinner. I was a little upset, but I came right back and gave as much info as I could on this remote without showing content. And, you know, you adapt. You do things. If I just sat here and complained about everything YouTube has, you know, had to do, I don't think they're doing it because they want to. I think they have pressure to do it, because they weren't doing it to people for a long time, you know. Husham and Solo Man and all those guys that had channels way back then, they weren't getting, you know, taken down like that initially. They're getting pressure, and, you know, YouTube has to respond to that pressure. So I get it. Do I think that some of the things that get done to the videos is stupid? Absolutely. You know, and does it anger me when they, you know, demonetize my video that I worked so hard on, even though I didn't show a single bit of content? Absolutely. Because you can work with people, and I get it, and I understand that you have to. You know, you can be served legal notices. You have advertisers that you have to answer to. You have all that kind of stuff. I understand business. I've been working in business for years. So I get it. But If I don't do anything that breaks your written terms of service, and I've adapted to not do that 99% of the time, don't demonetize my video. Or at least tell me what I did so that I don't do that. I'll adapt again. I'll figure it out. That's what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I have no problem with the adaptation. But the one thing that I could blame YouTube on is they're not very transparent. They will just tell you, if you get a strike, they tell you what you got, where you got it for, what you got it for. That's transparent. I get it. But if you just demonetize a video, all you get is an email that says your video is demonetized because it's deemed, not suitable for all advertisers. Why? What was wrong with my video? You should tell me that. Like, I'm on your platform making you money, right? Sure, I'll make money too, but I'm making your people like me and everybody else that has a channel makes you money. So if we all make you money, why aren't you transparent with us? Why aren't you telling me what's wrong? So in that aspect, YouTube, I can blame. The other part of what Sean said, though, is how it's good and bad. That's on the YouTuber. That's on the actual person that's either just out for themselves and putting all this clickbait up. They make it bad. And then people that are bringing you actual information make it good. What's up, Ron? So, it's things like that. DB said I'm going to get demonetized for job. That's okay. Like if they do that, they do that. That would also upset me though. I shouldn't get demonetized for doing that a little bit. Because if you look at other YouTube channels, right? Like just look at whatchamacallit, Tall Car Guy Reviews, Mr. Organic channel. Like I like a lot of these car channels, right? They curse all the time and they got ads in their videos. So if they want to demonetize me just for that, what am I going to say? We'll get into the Juul stuff later, guys. There's absolutely, if you really read the articles, there's nothing really said about the Juul. I've been vaping for a long time and I don't have any lung issues, man. People that are getting THC cartridges on the street, again, dumb. Like, don't do that. You don't know what's in it. They got pesticides and crap in there and all kinds of stuff. Don't do that. But that's my take on YouTube. I think YouTube helps the streaming community a lot. But YouTubers have to be smart. They have to know what to put on YouTube and what not to put on YouTube. You know what I mean? So, you really, really gotta be smart as a YouTuber. You have a responsibility as a YouTuber to not come on here and broadcast a live pay-per-view event or a live football game or anything. Like, that's just common sense. You can't come on here and do that. And it's also common sense to not incriminate yourself, not do, there's just too much dumb, like, why? Don't come on here and be like, hey guys, here's my service and I'm going to show you the whole thing on YouTube right now. And I'm going to, tell you how to get it and link and put a link below for you to pay me for it. Like, if it ever comes to a day where law enforcement is actually saying, okay, this is no longer a gray area of any kind, right? And it's technically now illegal. Like in Europe, I get it. What they did over there, they have Article 13 now. They have whatever. It's not quite the same rules here yet. In America, there's differences still. You can't blanketly say something is illegal or legal or not. And so far, the providers that have been taken down in the past have been taken down actually for having movies and stuff on there. And that's what they ended up getting sued for and getting in trouble for, was movies. Nobody really said much about channels. It wasn't really that big of a mention. John, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. So, you know, other YouTubers out there, if you watch this show, I don't mean to insult you, but if that's what you're doing, stop. Like, stop going out there, and I'm just trying to help you, and I'm trying to help the community too, because the community that doesn't know any better, part of the community, is going to watch your video and see your link, and they're going to click it and go, oh, I want that. And then they're going to click that link and they're going to subscribe to it. And they may make a comment under the video and say, oh yeah, great service, I subscribe to it. Guess what? Maybe someday that person gets in trouble for that comment. Like, just don't be dumb. You know what I mean? Like don't be dumb. Use your brain. It's not that hard. And if you can't figure that out and you don't have common sense, then just shut up. Like, that's not hard either. You got to have at least enough common sense to know when it's time to close your mouth and when it's time to open it. So essentially, that's kind of all I have to say about the YouTube process on that, and about, the middleware itself obviously had an impact, but many, the only thing that I will say, because again, I'm not trying to go out here and make a ton of stuff, but just to you guys that, that watch the channel and whatever, without any details, this is not something that cannot eventually be replaced. And it's not something that is going to be like, hey, it's not something that is going to end the world. It's not IPTV apocalypse. It's not, any of that kind of stuff. So, it's just a time for a little bit of patience. Everybody is doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and there's a lot of smart people out there that are already making headway. So, it's if a service is actually down right now, like an individual service, it's not because they were taken down or any type of craziness like that. It's really just because either A, that person decided to take it down because they're worried about what's happening, which, okay, I can understand, or B, they went ahead and are already in the process of trying to switch that middleware to something else. The ones that are still running and can't do as much as they normally do, they've decided to leave that middleware in place for the moment while they maybe run test servers or something like that on some other stuff so that they can try to make a smoother transition. So that's essentially what is happening. But without giving tons of, I'm not out here naming anybody's names or giving anybody's companies or middleware. I won't even say the name of the company that got busted. You can read about it if you want. It's not my place to say it here. And like I said, it's a that should be an interesting thing to keep track of down the line, because that company does do legal business. And if other people are using that software for other purposes, it's going to be interesting to see if there's, a resolution to that's positive for that company. I think there probably should be, although it did happen in Europe, and that Article 13 makes things a little interesting. So I don't know how they can blame something down the line or not blame something down the line. But as far as we know, don't listen to any rumors that people are saying. As far as we know, right, that company just provides a software, just like Kodi provides a software. Kodi doesn't get shut down because of what other people do with their software. So I'm not quite sure how this pans out for that middleware company, because they just provide a software and other people do things with it. So so that's about all I can really say on that subject or want to say on it on YouTube. But just relax, guys. In general, like, nobody is disappearing forever based off this. No problem, Lou. Take care. It's it's something that I think will. All right, Lucky. Take care too. It's something that I think will actually, in the long run, honestly, create better services. As ironic as that sounds, I think that services realize now that you know and other people realize that there are people that'll be willing to take the risk or live in a different area that say, I'll make these middlewares. They'll make them, and maybe there'll be 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, and a service will have one, and then they're going to have a backup one sitting there just in case that one goes down. Another, it's like a Kodi add-on. It's like, okay, Exodus goes down, well, here's a fork of Exodus, and then that fork goes down, well, here's 3 forks of Exodus, or 3 forks of that fork. You know what I mean? I think that's eventually what will basically happen. Sean says, do you think private Facebook groups are safe? No, because nothing on Facebook is really private. You can make a private group. That just means that people can't see that group without being invited to it. Doesn't mean Facebook can't find that group. Doesn't mean they can't shut it down. So yeah, not safe. And it doesn't mean they don't have everything that's posted in that group. You know what I mean? Like, that's all on their servers. So it's a little better than coming on here and going, hey, subscribe to my service. But there you go. Ruben said it's about as safe as a condom that has holes poked in it. Yeah, I mean, you come on YouTube and incriminate yourself, that's basically as safe as not using a condom at all. Selling a bunch of service on Facebook is as safe as using a condom with holes in it. It's a good analogy. Thank you, Ruben. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of online places with security. You could literally make a chat group on different services that are secured. There's a lot of them out there. You may even have to pay for one. And if you're running a service, you actually run one, and you're not a reseller of a service, pay for one. Like, pay for it. Give your customers a private place where they feel okay to go. Don't make a Facebook group that says, "Hey, this is my support group for my paid services," because Facebook can see that. Like, and if they get served some kind of warrant for your group, they're gonna give it up. And even if you delete the group, Facebook still has it. So don't be stupid. Just that's the moral of the story. It's just, don't be dumb. Everybody, the biggest problem in all of this is the biggest problem in all of this is really someone's greed. Too much greed, whether it's the YouTuber that wants the extra clicks, whether it's the service provider that, double dips, whether it's there's greed everywhere you turn, and it's disgusting. And those kind of things are what is bad for the community. That's what affects the community more than anything. And that's really what needs to be curtailed. It needs to be not supported by people in the community like you guys. You guys need to not support that. When somebody comes on, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or whatever, and says, hey, I got such and such for, such and such dollars, and they make an advertisement on that's on a public forum like that. I don't care if it's a private group. Facebook is still a public forum, and they say, hey, we got all the pay-per-views and all the games and all this and all that. That's stupid. Don't go on a public forum and advertise that you are providing something that doesn't belong to you. Like, that is just stupid. Just absolutely stupid. Like, it's just, that's all I can say. Can't fix stupid. It's true. Stupid is as stupid does, and you guys should not follow stupid. So, yeah, I mean, Donald says most saying email them for it. Now, that's a little better because your email, is another layer of whatever, but you're still making a video that says email me for this. And I get it. You're trying to make some money, so you got to put it out there somehow. But like somebody, who was it that just asked about Telegram? I think, was it Shine? Shine got the good questions today. I think it was Shine asked if Telegram was safe. I'm trying to find it. Yeah, he said, are we 100% secure on Telegram? I'll explain that one to you. So, like, if you're on Telegram and you're in a big group chat, there's links to that group chat, right? So, somebody could get in there. That it's secure in the fact that you're talking to only the people in that group. But if somebody wants to get in that group and they get in and they're, looking at it from some sort of investigative purpose, then I suppose they could get some form of usernames or whatever, or try something in that way. Which is why you see in most groups, there's like anti-measures for things like that as best as possible. You know what I mean? But in a group setting, that kind of stuff shouldn't be talked about all that much either. Even on Telegram. Like, general discussion, fine. But, what channel is this on? Whatever. Okay, fine. But that's why you one-on-one communicate with somebody on Telegram, which is an encrypted connection when you go one-on-one with somebody. And that's just between you two. There can't be any mole in the room. There can't be, you know what I mean? And that's where you discuss pertinent information with that person. So that's all a gazillion times safer than coming on YouTube and going, here's my email me for service. Like, that's not safe at all. So, there's a lot of ways to be safer about these things. And at the end of the day, I honestly don't believe that end users have much to worry about when it comes to this kind of stuff anyway. That is way too much work. Way too much. I'll get to that, Ron, about the remote when I'm done with this topic. It's way too much to go through to try to figure that out. I think that, there may be attempts to chop things off at the source somehow, but there's so many sources and so many. It's just crazy. The same way, right? This is the best analogy I could give, right? The same way someone gets something up online, right? You know how you see the story all the time, like somebody's picture went online and they try to take it down, they try to get it removed, it's embarrassing, or they said something they shouldn't have said on a video, and somebody posted that, right? And people go crazy and they try to get, it's never gone, right? No matter what you try, no matter what you do, there is a copy of it. Once you put it on the internet, there is a copy of that somewhere. Somebody has it. This video right now, somebody somewhere is going to take this video and they're going to record this video and they're going to upload it like it's their own. Happens to me all the time. I can search my stuff on YouTube and I can see other people putting my videos up Well, as if they were theirs, as if they're me, with me talking just like this. It's pretty funny, like that happens, but that's what happens, right? So let's just say I remove my video from YouTube. Well, if somebody else already put it up, well, what happens then? You know what I mean? It's and that's the same scenario with all this streaming stuff. The same scenario with third-party add-ons, with IPTV, with all this stuff out there. Okay, there are so many servers. They're not on one network. They're on different networks all over the place, all over the entire world. That stopping it is impossible. And the people that are trying to stop it are wasting their time making blips on a radar. That's really what they're doing. They'll make their blip on the radar. They'll do whatever. The companies, you need to ask yourself, why does this even exist? That's what you need to ask yourself. Not, as you guys as users already know. You know why you buy what you buy and you pay for what you pay for. And the reason is because the companies charge too damn much. They make it so that it is damn near impossible for your average person to afford what they want to watch. So, but yet these companies will spend millions or damn it, billions probably by the time they're done of dollars. And it's the dollars of the people that are paying them, because that's where they're getting their money, to try to stop this. Well, if you could spend all that money on all these lawyers and all this law enforcement and all this nonsense, then you don't need as much money as you have. Charge your people less money and you just won't see this anymore. Like, that's the God's honest truth. Like that is the most ridiculousness of this all. Because if people could pay a reasonable fee for something, they'll do it. Not everyone is like doing it. They don't do it for fun. They don't do it. They do it because they feel like they have no choice, because they're broke, because they're too poor to afford your crazy prices. Like, so look at your pricing, and you can't go around and tell people, oh, cable companies, they go, we have to raise your price, right? We have to raise your price by $2 a month now because we had to make a new deal with this channel to keep this channel here. You see that all the time, right? Okay, so you're raising your subscribers $2 a month. Let's say you have I don't know, 10 million subscribers, right? And that's a small amount. There's way more on a lot of these ISPs and cable providers. But for sake of easy math, let's just say you have 10 million subscribers to your cable, and 10 million of them have to pay $2 more a month now. Well, guess what? You just made $20 million a month. And what did you do with that $20 million a month? You took it and you gave it to lawyers and created companies to try to shut down streaming. That's what you're doing with that extra $2 a month. So did you really need it in the first place? I don't think so. Because you're not putting it back into... Instead of making your service better or making your service cheaper or anything like that, you're putting it into trying to stop something you can't stop anyway. And you're spending millions and millions of dollars to do this. Not only for legal stuff, right? You're lobbying places like DC, and you're lobbying politicians in America and other countries to try to make things harder for people to get, to try to make things more difficult for people to do. And you're paying those politicians, those snaky politicians who already are rich, you're giving them way more money so that they do your bidding, so that they pass some laws that you want passed. All right? So you got all that money because you're an ISP, and that's what you choose to do with it. Instead of just charging your customers less and getting more subscribers and not having to deal with this nonsense. You want to just go and give your money away to politicians, give your money away to lawyers, and try to stop something that's never going to stop. It is just stupid. Everybody's like the YouTuber that comes on and incriminates themselves is stupid. The ISPs are stupid. Like, stop being stupid. Look at your business model. hold some focus groups, you know? Why don't you get these people, instead of trying to incriminate them, why don't you get them in a focus group? Why don't you get them in there to say what's wrong with our shit? Why is it that people don't want to pay us? Why is it that what is the major problem here? Figure something out. Don't just waste all this money. You're just throwing it away. They're making other people rich. That's all they're doing. They're paying lawyers, they're paying politics, they're making other people rich with your money, with the person that pays them money for service. And that's just fucking stupid. Like it, I can't. It annoys me to no end. It really does. That, like, you know, as long as there's internet, as long as the internet exists, there's gonna be streaming. You're not gonna stop it. If you think you are, you're fucking stupid. Like, is not gonna stop. It will change. It will adapt. It will evolve. Whatever you do, it's never gonna stop. They will find a way to make it happen. And the people that can't afford to pay your crazy prices will find a way to watch it too. So, you know, and you're out here, right, doing all this and going after all these things and trying to stop, like, you know, middleware companies that make, like, you're doing it all wrong too. Like there's so many things that you could do differently. I'm not going to tell you how to do them, but there certainly are, and you just waste, like, no matter what you do, it's still not gonna work. But you could keep a lot more of those $2 you're charging people all the time if you did things differently. And it's just stupid, you know. Like, what about, like, free shit? There's tons of free shit out there. You know what I mean? Like, there are free streams all over the place. They may not look as nice as paid ones, but they're there. People can still watch those all day. You don't. Why aren't those things? Why aren't you focused on those too? Like, it's a weird scenario. Like, you know, and it's. I don't get their logic on how they're doing it, but it's it's just their logic makes no sense, you know. But if I could tell, you know, well, see, Donald says because there's no money, but that's not true. There's no money involved for the person that's watching it because it's free. It may look like crap, but it's free, and if you're broke and you need to watch it, you can watch it. But the fact that whoever's willing to accept that quality of stream, they're still not paying the ISP for cable. So they are losing money because that person's not paying cable. So that's why I don't understand why they wouldn't go after that. Like, they're still losing money on it. It doesn't matter if somebody pays somebody else or watches something for free. As long as the cable company is not getting the money, it's the same to the cable company. You know what I mean? So, it's just the cable companies, man. They really don't get it. Like, let's just look. Like, I'll give a great example of this is, you got, like, DirecTV, right? DirecTV has an app now, a streaming app, because they think people want to stream. And that's kind of true, because if I can watch my TV on my phone instead of having to be in front of a cable box, it's more convenient. But if I can also watch it on my TV at the same time, cool. So they got that right. But you're charging how much for it? Like, it's crazy that they do that. The way they do it, like, they get part of it right, but they think we're dumb. They think we're going to just keep paying these crazy high prices. If you're putting it into a stream, let me break this down for you guys, right? This is a real interesting breakdown, okay? Original cable networks go over one type of network, and it's a lot of equipment and a lot of things that have to be done differently to get that cable into your house. When you end up with a streaming service, even a legit one, YouTube TV, Sling TV, You know, the hell is it? All I forget. What was I just talking about now? DirecTV's one, right? That is digitally given to you. They are literally providing you the service in obviously a much better version of, but the same way you get IPTV. It's going to servers and getting broadcast out from there. It's way cheaper. You don't have to deploy equipment all over the place. It's saving them money to give it to you digitally. So if your price doesn't go down from getting a digital subscription to something, if it doesn't cost less, now I'm talking specifically cable provider. If you have DirecTV with a box in your house, or you have the DirecTV Now app or whatever the hell it's called, and they are charging you the same exact amount, regardless of which way you consume their product, they are not being fair. They are not passing any savings onto you that you should be getting from them not having to deploy this crazy network to bring you service. And, that's wrong. So they think we're dumb and we don't know how it works, but we do know how it works. And I'm telling you guys how it works if you don't know. So, YouTube TV and all of them, YouTube TV price isn't that bad. I give it to them, for like regular stuff. It's not that bad. See, and Shine's got a good point too there. He says, do the math. How much does it cost if you get YouTube TV plus Netflix plus Hulu plus Disney plus ESPN plus, plus all of the, like everything that you want to watch, okay, is in its own separate streaming platform now. Like they're trying to offer it in some streaming platform, but nobody knows how to properly make some money putting it together. Now, at the end of the day, okay, what's going to happen, what has to happen, this is for you cable companies out there, is you need to have channels, okay? You need to be the middleman. You need to talk to the networks and get the channels just like you always have. And you need to distribute it digitally so that there's an app that you can that everyone can install. You should be able to install a Fios app. You should be able to install a Spectrum app and log in with your account as a user and say, I'm willing to pay $3 a month for ESPN. I'm willing to pay $2 a month for Disney for my kids. Or like whatever the price is for each damn channel you want. And that is how you're going to make your money. Because nobody wants to have to be forced to pay you $125 for every channel just because they want one. Okay? Nobody wants to do that. And they're not going to keep doing it. People are not going to keep doing that. You can make a small package that's original, cool. You want to make like a 25 channel package, like the basic stuff. Everybody's going to want ABC, NBC in their local, cool. Put all that together. But you know how cheap that is? That don't cost a lot of money. All right? So give me ABC, NBC, CBS, all the usual suspects. Put my PBS in there, right? Give me maybe my local sports channels. Don't even give me, you know what? Don't give me my local sports channels. What if I'm not a sports fan? What if there should be, okay, Lee lives in New York. These are the local New York sports channels. You can have our service with ABC, NBC, blah, blah, blah. Maybe $5 a month. Cheap. $7, whatever. Something cheap. Lee, do you like sports? Yes, I do. Would you like these local sports channels so that you can watch the Knicks and the Yankees and the Mets play? Yes, I would. Well, okay. You can get them all in one package for $7 or whatever it is, right? Or if you are only a Yankees fan, you could just get Yes Network. And that's only going to cost you $2.50. You guys do that? That's how you get rid of IPTV. At least a lot of it anyway. You make it way smaller than it is now. That's what you need to do. If you ain't doing that, you ain't stopping shit. it's stuff like that, man. Like that, you need to be innovative because all these people are out here running IPTVs and they're being innovative about it. And they're figuring out, no matter what you do, how to keep it going. And they're going to continue to do that. And even if you stop a person, or you stop 2 people, or you stop 3 people, they just keep coming. New ones show up. You ain't going to win. So play the game. Get in the game. Get your money. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you need to do. Like, get in there and compete. Because you're never going to win the game you're trying to play now. You know, you can't win. It just won't happen. As long as the internet, you shut the whole internet off, that's how you win. And you can't do that. Because you also shut off your own money. You know, that's the thing that kills me about it too, is they also provide the internet to you, right? So you're paying them for the internet. You're just not paying them for the channels because they're being crazy with their prices and retarded about it, just ridiculous, right? So, and they refuse to budge, but you're still paying them for the internet. They're not, you know, so it's not like they're broke. If they don't have to provide you the channels, like, and that's the thing with IPTV, whether it's legal IPTV or non-legal. When YouTube TV sends you your channels, okay, they're sending it to you from a server the same way any other service sends it to you. I'm not naming any names of anybody, but the same way anybody you pay your cheap prices to gets it to you. It's the same damn thing. It might be a little more sophisticated software that YouTube has, but the end result is the same. This channel comes in on a digital server, okay? It's all digital. And then you get an account, and your account gets signed up by your email address, and they know that you are allowed to access that channel. And when you connect to it, they say, okay, here's one connection. It's coming out to your TV right now. And then you go in your bedroom, and your wife or your kid or whatever turns on another channel on YouTube TV, 2 connections are up. And they can see that on their end, right? 2 connections are up. And however many they allow you, you get. Just like IPTV. It's the same damn thing. All right? So we know that just by looking at some services that are out there, it is possible. Just the network of it is possible. Forget about the channels themselves. The network. By people that are not engineers by any means. By people that didn't go to college and get degrees on how to do digital networking. Okay, they go out there and they figure out how to make a service and they put it out there and they can do it and afford to do it, paying for all the servers they pay for, you know, that they have to pay for to make that network work. Customers are paying what? Somewhat, depending on the service, between, you know, that all depends on how many servers they have and how big the back end is. But you're paying between maybe, you know, $6 and like for a single connection, $6 to $20, depending, you know, and don't get me wrong, those more expensive ones generally, for the most part, have a more advanced network of servers, and they're a bit more reliable than the cheaper ones, or they're bigger and, you know, they just need more servers. So if the tech is out there to send all these channels to all these people, all right, and I'm not talking about the channels because that's different, all right, because we know the channels is not, that's the gray area part of this whole thing. Just the network. I'm only talking about the network to get it out there. The bandwidth, the network, it works, and it works well when you have a good service. And you can pay $10, $15, $20, whatever for that service every month. That's all it costs. Now YouTube or you know, any other place, Hulu now, right? Sling, they all got bigger networks than these guys that are sending you this stuff. Which means they're paying less for the shit. All right? Because they got bigger networks. When Google owns their network, first of all. Like, they have, like, it's crazy. Like, I'm not saying it's cheap. It costs them a lot of money. But the amount of bandwidth that it takes to send the signal out to the people doesn't cost that much. Because we see it every day. Anybody that has ever subscribed to an IPTV service, you know, sees that it's possible, that it's doable. And they're not paying that much for it. Okay? And you got to keep in mind that these IPTV services are also paying for those channels that they're sending you. They make deals to get those channels. They're not even the ones that have them, all right? Like most of the time, that's not how it works. And that's why I say they'll never stop it, because, you can shut down a service. You're not shutting down the channel. That channel still exists. It's still somewhere. It's still going to, 12, 20, 30 other servers all over the place. And then if any of those servers goes down, there'll be another one up. So, and there's multiple sources for everything. So these companies really got to come out and just say, look, how much does it really cost us to send this network out? And I'll give you a perfect example, okay? Let's just say it costs $5 to send the network out to all their subscribers. Cost them $5. Okay, total, like per person. Let's just say cost $5 per person. No matter how many people there are, cost them $5. They got people that they can pay to figure that out, how much it costs. All right, just charge people $6. Don't be greedy. Each subscriber makes $6, and that's just for the network part of it. All right, guess what? You're gonna end up with 5 million, 10 million, 20 million subscribers if you're doing it right, if it's cheap, right? So that's a lot of goddamn money every month just to make an extra dollar off each person. That's a lot of money. The more subscribers you have, the more money you're gonna make. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna end up with more subscribers because it's cheaper. So you're going to reach more people, have the most influence in the game. You're going to be able to say, we have the biggest network, we have the most stuff. That's gonna get more people coming to you, more good reviews, and you're gonna do it for cheaper than everybody else. You are winning. And you're making just as much money as the guy who's charging more and has less subscribers. Why? Because he has less subscribers than you. All right, so that's just simple math. If I make $1 off somebody and my product is cheaper, but I have twice as many clients as the person who's making $2 off everybody, we're making the same amount of money. You can cut your price in half, and by doing so, double the amount of people you have, and you're still gonna make the same amount of money. So stop being greedy. It's we're not dumb. The consumer is not dumb. We understand that you run a business. We understand that you have to make money, but you don't have to rob us, all right? And the more money you lose, you're going to charge more. The more IPTV things come up and pop up, and the more free things pop up and come up, you're losing more and more money every day. And instead of going, what can we do to fix this? You're just going to spend more money on politicians and more money on lawyers and all this stuff, and you're not going to win. So you're just going to lose even more money. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. So change your mindset. Do something different. Innovate. Create a new platform to get your channels out, to get people to actually pay you for something. Because people aren't going to pay you when you are robbing them. And they're not stupid. They know they are getting robbed. So that is the problem. Talking about the price of unlimited internet even, okay? I just did the Netgear thing, right? By the way, it is in my car now, and it's working great in the car. But I did the Netgear video not that long ago, and, if I can get, the cheapest one would be the AT&T plan. Now, the AT&T plan is not legit, right? Exactly. It's like meant to be for tablets, and it's hacked and put into a hotspot. But guess what? That network is still putting out unlimited data every month for that price. And AT&T isn't broke, are they? So clearly they can do it. They just don't want to. So, you guys got to look at it that way. And as a consumer, spend your money wisely. Don't try to support as little as possible to the cable companies that aren't giving deals, that aren't innovating. Obviously, you may only have one choice where you are, and that's what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. But there's other ways to still get them. Get you some HD home run stuff like I've talked about in the past. I haven't had a cable box in my house forever, even though I still have some cable channels. I refuse to pay them rental fees for equipment all the time. Any of that stuff. Like, hit them wherever you can hit them, just to say, I'm going to support you as little as possible. You need to change what you do. You need to change how the consumer is treated. And then we can talk about my money. But until then, you're going to get as little of my money as you can get. And that's just that. All right. I think I've said enough on that topic for the moment. I'll do some quick other topics. I'm going to do a full-on review of this remote, but as you can see here, I've connected it to other devices in my house, and I will give you guys a brief rundown on it real quick. This will be a fast one. I've connected it to 3 different shields, a sound bar, 2 TVs, and I've used it heavily for about 2 weeks now. I was going to do a week and do the review, but things got a little hectic for me. I'm still going to make a separate review video for this, so I won't go into it for too long on here. It's good though. I can't say I have a problem with it. What I would say, just off initial quick hit on this, is that sometimes it disconnects the Bluetooth when I have multiple shields connected. So I have to open up the menu on the shield, and it will tell me that it's connected. I'll open it and I'll unconnect it, and then I'll just repair it, and it works right away. But that's really the only issue I've had. Anything that's not a Bluetooth device, and it might be just because I have multiple shields on here, but it works well. It's a nice remote. I still don't have a link. I gotta look. Maybe it's up by now, but I'm not sure. I'm gonna look. As soon as the link is up, I will release a review video on it. I'm gonna record the review video anyway soon, but I'll wait until there's a link that you guys can get it from, because there's no point in me putting the review up and going, you still can't buy this, here's the review. But it's good. I would say that if you want to try to have one remote in your home and only one remote, and I've gotten up from my living room and walked over to my bedroom and just use this, and then I get out of my bedroom and I come down here to the studio and flip on my shield. But it does have this issue where, at least with multiple shields so far, it's the only thing I could say bad, is that it doesn't, like, if you have it powered off and I press the power button like I'm pressing right now for my shield here, it's not turning my shield on. And that's because it was last connected to my shield upstairs. So I have to turn the shield on by another measure, right? And then reconnect this to it by using the shield's Bluetooth connection menu. And then it'll work on this shield, but when I go back upstairs, I'm going to have to do that upstairs. So it's a little annoying if you have multiple Bluetooth devices, I'd say. However, I think it might be fine if it was like different ones. It might just be that they're all shields, because they do have stuff for Fire TV, which can connect with Bluetooth. Like, they have programs for those already in there, like pre-programmed set for that. So it might just be that it's multiple shields. It's not yet ever asked if it's in the Amazon Marketplace. I'm not 100% sure that this is available for sale yet. I got the prototype version, and I held off doing the review because it wasn't for sale. I was told it would be for sale in September at some point. It's September 22nd, so if it's not, it should be soon. Other than that, Storm said do the formulars. The formulars are really cool there, but in order to do a good review on those, we're going to need some services going. It's going to be a tricky one, but we will do them. Just show you this real quick. Remember I was telling you guys I was supposed to get a projector? Well, I was supposed to get it from Vankyo, and Vankyo, for whatever reason, says the projector is still not in stock. They sent me another box instead. Actual Vankyo box. Now, Vankyo is a good company. I've used Vankyo quite a bit for things in the past. This is a 4 gig of RAM box with 64 gigs of storage, and I believe it's an S905X processor with USB 3.0. So I'm gonna check this out pretty soon too. They just sent me it free to review, so I will you know, check it out. But the remote looks pretty Fire Stick-ish, you know. And it looks just like a pretty plain box. I have another box coming too in the mail from another company. I believe that's another S922X one. This is a S905X, which is the newest 905 processor, if I'm not mistaken. And then a 922. So I'll be checking those out along with the formulars, doing that kind of stuff. I'm still waiting on anybody to send me a projector. I was told by end of September a projector should be on the way, because I really want to see one and show you guys one that doesn't cost too much, and hopefully I can find one that's really good and doesn't cost that much, because projectors are awesome for streaming, like especially if they're small and you can carry them around and you can just plug like a Fire Stick right into them, because that's also small, whatever the case is, and you just boom, you know, 100-inch screen, 150-inch screen, wherever you want it. You know, you're out in your backyard, you want to project it up against your garage, you want to, you know, maybe you like to work in the garage in your car. Like, it's a really good product, I think, for the streaming community. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on one. But I've had like 3 companies reach out to me wanting to send me projectors, and somehow I still don't have a projector. And I've said yes to all of them so that I could compare them to you. But, you know, eventually they'll come. Yes, I agree with me, myself, and I. Forcing you to take anything and telling you as part of a package that you don't want is no good. So all right, Bam, have a good one. Yeah, it's already past 1. I'm gonna watch the game 2 pretty soon. But I want to open this panel up real quick in case anybody has anything they want to say, so don't leave yet. There may be some folks in here that are interested in... Let me make sure this works, too. Yep, okay. So this part of the section is working. Let me blow this up. That's weird. It's like... Oh, hold on. If I do that, it should work. Yeah, now it's huge. Hang on a second. It's been a while since I did this. There we go. All right. So let me open this panel up real quick. Anybody that wants to come in now can feel free to come in. I think I've said what I need to say about the topic, but feel free to ask questions. And join in. I just put the link to jump in the chat there. So anybody that wants to, feel free. You guys can also type questions about whatever you want in the chat, and I will answer those. They can be about, you know... What? Close that. Someone asked about free... I'll do some Streamlabs for you, Flatnight. We could just privately do that if you want. You can screen share and I'll help you out. But somebody said, have I tested the HK1 Max with Android 9 yet? I have not. All right. I think Anthony just got in the meeting here. It says Anthony's in. Let me try to get the view different. That's gonna shrink it though, right? Let's do that. I want to make it so that it... Yeah, we could do it that way. I guess. I'll change the views around a bit, but that'll work. So essentially, oh, some people trying to get in. Here, I'll admit everybody in here. All right, Storm is in. Anthony is in. Fladnag says anything. I got you, Fladnag. Gildan says I tried Easy News. It's complicated for their plans. It's basically about how much you want to download. They give you a download limit per month. Somebody, oh, Anthony, you're typing in the Zoom group chat. Hang on, Anthony's asking questions in the Zoom group chat. I'll answer that in a second. So it's all about how much you want to download, really, or stream, Gildan. The big gig plan is the most popular one. They do have sales on it from time to time, and eventually, it's you can get it for $60 a year in a single payment, and then it becomes unlimited. So but when you're gonna pay for one of those, I would say it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you just stream if you're trying to use like Gaia and stream with it for one or two things a day, you could probably get away with a cheaper one. But if you're trying to like download the planet, you need the big gig one, and then you need to get the unlimited sale that they had. They do make an unlimited sale every now and again. And as soon as that pops up, you need to get that. Anthony says, "What about the B-Link?" Storm, I hear you, but very low.
I'm trying. I don't know. You know how I get that I sound loud, so I don't know what volume to speak at. How's that?
A little louder. How do you guys hear Storm? Say it in the chat over there.
You want me to talk in my real voice? I can do that, but then everybody complains they can hear me from a fuck 10 miles away. I mean,
it could be that my speakers are low. So let's see what the people in the chat say.
They probably sound like crap. I'm on an iPhone.
All right, they say you're good. So it's going to be harder for me to hear you. I'm going to turn my speakers up a little, and hopefully that doesn't bring any feedback. But you can talk regular, Storm. They hear you fine.
Okay. All right, cool.
For me to hear you, I'm going to put this mic a little further from my speakers and turn up my speakers.
LOL, deuce. He said Anthony, I can hear Storm from UK. Unbelievable.
Anthony, instead of talking in the chat, is typing in here. He says, "What about B-Link TV box? I don't see the need for Shield since I'm not a gamer." And he said, "I hear her clearly." Yeah, but you're in the actual chat, Anthony, so that would be a little different. But since everybody can hear her good, that's fine. The B-Link box Michael. Is cool. Jack the Ripper, thank you for the tip. I greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Jack.
So the B-Link box is fine. I don't like it initially when you get it. I don't like the OS on it, but if you follow my video and you load up Android TV on it, it's cool. And it works fine. It's powerful. It's good. If you the Shield is the best regardless. It's gonna be the best. It's the best until the new Shield comes out, and then it's gonna be second best to the new Shield, which will be the best. That's pretty much the end result. I think we've learned that over the years. That no matter what anyone tries, the Shield just winds up being the best. It doesn't mean that other things aren't great. If you just want to stream, it's cool. You can get a Fire Stick 4K. You can get a B-Link. But if you're looking to expand, if you're trying to get into Plex, if you need a Plex server, the Shield is literally the only box that does that. So there's a lot of other things even besides gaming that the Shield is very good at, and will help you out with in the streaming world that you don't wind up with on any other box. So that's the answer to that. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about the if you have Netflix and you want to use Netflix, that box does not really support it well at all. The B-Link box. Storm, Aaron said I should mute you for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I can't even see mine's behind. I'm going to mute him for 2,695,000 minutes. Oh. So it's been a long few days, and I thank all the members for their patience as
So
well. I just want to say that.
in the chat, Deshaun says DirecTV is killing my father-in-law on pricing for NFL Sunday Ticket. Looking for other options. What would you suggest? Again, that kind of goes back to, I would say, join Telegram, and just jump in a group and chat there, because that just kind of goes back to saying
I'll
things
post
that
the
shouldn't be
link.
said on YouTube. But there are options, and you can get them. But jump on Telegram, and you know, there's a link even on the homepage of this YouTube channel to the Supreme Builds Telegram group, and you
I
can
just
freely
posted it
speak in
too in
there and
chat.
ask questions, and people can answer those questions much better there for you. But you can definitely do much better than what is currently being charged now. So and guys, Storm just put the link in the chat too. I'm gonna put the panel link here if anybody else wants to jump on. I think Joe App Reviews asked for the panel before. Was it him?
You guys
I
got to
just
click the I'm not a bot when you join, because I like to make sure these little Bitcoin bots don't come by anymore. So
let me see if
nice. Thanks for joining, guys.
I am Ikachu asks, "What's the deal with XC?" I spent probably the first hour talking about all that stuff. It's right now.
It Extreme Codes is an infrastructure that was used for many legal platforms as well as, the IPTV platform. I don't think they really had an idea what effect this would have had. So I do believe they thought they were doing something good, when in actual fact they did something that they probably regret. Who knows if the company will come back up? We don't know that at this time. We do know that there's not much info that I believe on the web. I have not read that torrent freak article or whatever it was. It was sent to me via text because I said I wouldn't click on it. So I don't listen to any of that stuff. I'm waiting for the dust to settle myself before I even talk about the deal with XC, besides the fact that there is something going on, with them, and the infrastructure is down at the moment.
Yeah, I would agree with that too. I think there's definitely other middlewares that are being looked into. So hopefully they come back, because they are a good one, and they really shouldn't be held accountable for what someone else does.
My opinion is they will, but that's just opinion and mine. So it's, nothing that I can say for sure. I just feel like because they were a legit company, parts of it might be affected, but not the whole infrastructure long term and forever. But that's just my opinion. Again, I don't know anything, really more than that.
Yeah, I mean, but for you guys, instead of having to listen to, the world is ending videos from other people, it's basically, there's other options out there. It's just that providers were using this one option because it's just the option everybody used, and you go from one place to another and do whatever, and a lot of people just knew that option and how it runs and how it works. So you're looking at people learning some other options and getting them in place. So that's going to take a little time. If that's what has to be done, it'll still be what gets done. But
Donald, you got to tap the "I'm not a bot" or it's going to keep booting you every 30 seconds.
all right, Jeezel, take care, Jeezel. Salvatore,
Right.
again, that question,
Diesel.
your question there, Salvatore, should be addressed in something like Telegram. But the answer to it, without me saying it, is yes. Without me reading that question. Any bad things we need to know? I wouldn't say bad things. It's just, some it's an adjustment period, and the good news about it is that I think at the end of the day, it's going to teach people that do provide things just to be even more aware that something like this could happen. I think nobody thought this would happen because that software is legal and it's used for many legal purposes. So they never figured, I don't think anybody really ever thought that company would end up getting targeted and shut down when they technically aren't providing any illegal service. But now that people know that that kind of thing can happen, you'll end up seeing, other things pop up that could possibly be used for these types of purposes, even though they're also going to be legal. And there may be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever of them, right? And you'll see providers probably, if they're smart, if I was running one, I would say, all right, I like this one the best. This is going to be the main one I'm going to use. And then I'm going to keep this one, just copying everything as a backup to this other one, and that way if something happens, I can just flip a switch and switch it over to the other one, and we just keep going. So I think you're going to see people come out of this better in the long run. Just right now, it's it's a little tricky while things get sorted. It's just going to take some time, but nothing's going to just everything's not disappearing off the face of the earth.
Aaron, there was a company. I'm sorry that was involved. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Lee, but just before the chat gets confused, there was something with the European Union and an IPTV. Okay, so that part of it is true, but that has no effect on us in Supreme Builds in the U.S. or any of the people you deal with. So I'll be clear with that.
Yeah, I believe there was like 1 or 2 services that were operating out of
about
Italy.
700,000 users out of that European situation. But
and I'm pretty sure that's how they found, the software company, and they just figured, oh, this software company must be in on this.
Exactly what I'm thinking too. And
they were probably making a very small investigation into some local IPTV services, and they probably got through, and ended up maybe getting a reseller panel or whatever, or infiltrated further than that. I don't know. And then they figured out that
it's due to Facebook. So that's why you guys should be very careful what you post on there. In Supreme, anywhere, any platform, any group. I'm going to tell you right now, it's infested and infiltrated with people trying to gather data. So stay off of it. Don't, all those pages. I moved off of Facebook back in May, and I haven't been on there since. You'll barely see me post, and if you do, it'll be something about a Lee's link to a video or something. And everyone else should be the same way if they want to be involved in this. I'm sorry, you guys got to move and sort of
you got to roll with the times,
transition and understand this is a fluctuating and a volatile thing. So if all I ask for my people is some patience on this, because everybody is going to be taken care of. We never let you guys down. And some people in DM have been a little rude to me. But others have been very understanding. And I know this is confusing for some people on the back end. But I got to tell you, we all need patience right now, because everybody's experiencing the same thing. It's not just you. It's not just one. it's a lot of services. So patience is all we can have.
Yep. Right now, that's really all there is to it, and I think most places are doing a pretty good job of
Yep.
keeping keeping things going. Actually, considering that they don't have access to the main graphical user interface of this software. What's up, Nate? I can hear you. The ones that aren't, like I said earlier, they either took them down out of their own concern, which I guess is understandable depending on where they are and things like that, and or they were trying to be proactive and switch that middleware right away, and it just didn't go quite as perfect as they had planned, or it's taking more time than they had thought to learn something. So nobody's trying to disappear anywhere that I've seen, and it's just it's a situation that is new and has not happened before. So thank you
Thanks,
for the super
Gary.
chat, Gary. I appreciate it. What's up, Nate? I think Nate's camera froze. Good.
I didn't even see the link. Slad, you'll have to send it to me in DM or something. My what is it? Oh, I see Aaron's comment. Mute her for 2 minutes. Oh, I can't wait to get back to Telegram. Here it comes. I know he commented. I'll go get him. Oh, here it is.
Somebody asked, will custom OS for the GT King work for the Yugos AM6? No. You have to go back to that site where the custom OS is and try to see if you can find one for the Yugos AM6. Because those are specifically designed for each box and to work with each firmware. So, I mean, it may. I can't say no for 100%, but you may brick your device or have to go back. So it's up to you if you want to try it. But it's specifically mentioned that it's for the B-Link GT King, and those guys that make the ROMs, they start with the B-Link GT King OS and build it from there. So someone said, I hope they got backups on creds and those notes. I mean, that's another interesting part of it too. Like, I know that a lot of people do, but their backups are made with the software that's no longer working. So that's another reason for some patience, because you're gonna have to. Someone may have to go in and manually look at creds and notes and all that stuff, and have to transfer them over in a very difficult way if migration fails on something.
I can speak on behalf of that. Yeah. Okay, Fladnag. Yeah, that link to that site, I did some digging around. That site that's going around the extreme codes with the countdown, that's a 249-day-old domain. It's out of Bulgaria. It was not updated much up until the 19th. So it's kind of sketchy to me, but I'm not. It could be a backup site, but I don't think it's real personally, and I don't trust it.
Yeah, I'm a little leery on that one too, because I saw that, but it is out of Bulgaria, which is where XC was based out of as well. So I mean, it's hard to say. It could be
it's just the updates on the site. The last updates. That's what concerns me about it. So it could be a backup site, and hopefully that's what it is. But it's honestly sketchy to me too, Fladnag.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would advise anybody that ends up with. My speakers are too low to hear. Nate's talking, right?
I'm probably loud as hell.
Hang on, let me raise my speaker volume a little more.
Now I guess the dinner is going to be in the library. Yeah, that worked. He sent it in a different format.
Oh, he's just talking to somebody else. Okay.
Mute your mic.
Oh man, I was like thinking
Hey,
he was.
I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to do it. Hold on.
If you touch,
There you go.
you want to.
He got it.
There you go.
Yep, you got it muted now. You're good. So I think essentially if I was in that business where I was running one, I would not go and pay them for anything on that new site. Certainly not in my name or anything like that, just because it's a little weird. And you know, if it's true and the company is down and under some sort of investigation, and then they just pop up a new site saying, "Hey, we're going to offer you this in 3 days" or whatever it is, I just wouldn't trust that personally. So
The domain is only 249 days old. I mean, XC's been around longer than that. Why?
yeah, I mean
Why is that domain that new?
yeah, they could have bought it, as a backup or something, but I don't know.
That's the only that's if it's legit. That's the only thing I could think of. It was a back.
Yeah, Fladmag may be right. He's thinking it's a government. That's what I mean. I wouldn't do it. I mean, luckily I don't have to worry about that since I don't actually run any services. But if I did, I certainly wouldn't run out there and be like, yeah, let me go give them my information. Now is another, it's a setback to a degree on certain things because now people have to learn new things, but that's also an opportunity. And, if people can learn new things and expand what they know and make it even more difficult to have some form of shutdown on these things, all that was achieved by doing this was making it harder for the people that are trying to stop it. And that's essentially what's happening here, because nobody's given up, nobody's walking away. They're implementing new software and trying to find even more software to ensure that this doesn't happen again. So I think that their plan is not really, it's not a wise one.
I'm hoping Bitcoin goes up because of this. I'm waiting.
That may be. A lot of people might start doing more Bitcoin payments.
I'm hoping that my Bitcoins go up at least. But
listen, guys, I if you're out there and you're running services or reselling services or whatever, I would honestly tell you, if you don't know how to use Bitcoin, learn. It's not hard, and it's way more difficult to have those kind of transactions tracked down and traced. For the end user, I don't think it's anywhere near as important. Like I said, I don't. That's a whole lot of extra work for no damn reason to try to go after that. But the end user should understand if maybe if things keep ramping up, why people that run services or resellers may want to only take payments in that way. It could come to that one day, so
Hey, I got a question.
So
will I have access to my panel once all this is said and done?
I told you would.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depending on how it resolves, it may be a different panel than the one you were using, because but once everything is all said and done, panels got to go back up, because that's the only way that the service fully functions. So once they get all that squared away, then anyone that has a panel should regain access to it, or you may have to figure out the new panel and how it works, but the ability to do what it is that you want to do should be restored.
All right. Well, I'm gonna jump off because as you can see, I'm at work, and I'm just gonna just be checking out the background.
I got you. Thanks for jumping on.
Thanks so much for jumping on, Nate.
All right.
Flatneck says he wants to mine Bitcoin. You're too late for that one. You got to mine a different coin, man. But you need some serious hardware for that.
Some adult site coin or something.
And I can't. I mean, as far as just stressing that out to people, to stuff. I mean, you guys gotta not the end user, really, just the people that actually run services, whoever they are out there, if they watch this video at all. Create something, man. Like create businesses. Do things. Don't just run around and put stuff on Facebook and YouTube, and do things in a way where you're not putting yourself out there like that. The best, literally the best absolute. There's all this crazy stuff. You can go on Facebook and you can look at these crazy hawking, like the people are just hawking IPTV left and right, and all kinds of, all that stuff is nonsense. You go out there and you do that. You have no idea who you're talking to. You have no idea who's in there watching it. And you're just out there competing with a bunch of other people, and everyone's saying the same thing. I got the best service. No, I got the best service. Mine is $1 less. Mine is $1. It's a waste of end users' time. It's a waste of, don't do that. Just, talk to people that you guys are all on YouTube as end users that are watching this show. Talk to people that know about this. If I tell you there's a Telegram group, join that group if you want to know about things like that. If I tell you, if somebody else that you like and subscribe to and trust says, hey, we got a group that's on a private platform, go there and ask them about it. Don't talk about those things on Facebook. Don't talk about those things openly on YouTube. It's just not, it's not the right environment for that. So, that's the bit of advice that I could give. And if you're trying to grow some kind of business doing it, your best actual recourse and way of growth for that is honestly, a private forum combined with local word of mouth. Put yourself out there. Do what you do. Just do it smart. Don't do it on public forums like that. Go ahead and create yourself a little business and do whatever you got to do, but do it locally. Collect cash from somebody where you can locally. Things of that nature, and then somebody's going to have that. You're going to give it to 5, 10, 15, 20 people, whatever it is. And somebody's going to come to their house and their friends are going to see it. And they're going to be like, I want it. And then your friend's going to call you and go, hey, this guy wants it. That guy wants it. Then maybe you give your friend a panel. You hook up the friend yourself, whatever, however it works out. And, don't try to become, don't think like, oh, I'm going to go put this on in all these groups somewhere in public forums and I'm going to be rich in a day. Doesn't work that way. All you're going to do is look like somebody is desperate. And it just comes off wrong when you do it that way, honestly. Yeah, don't get too greedy, like Donald said too, if you're, dealing with these kind of services, you can make some money. Just do it as quietly as possible, and don't do dumb things. Don't try to become rich in a day or something. You know what I mean? Like it's it's not gonna happen. It's maybe some supplemental income if you need it, something like that. Everybody needs something sometime, but just be smart about it. It's like, you know, it's not quite the same, but if you had a you know, I don't know, if you had a drug, are you gonna go on Facebook and be like, yeah, hi, you know, buy my drugs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just dumb. You don't do that.
You can try.
Yeah, you can try, but you know, you
Oh no, how long you'll last.
You know what? I just want to say something, folks, and like everybody probably thinks I'm the meanest person on Telegram, and then I'm rude, but I'm not. It's just a lot of chats to keep up, and lately nobody's been reading. I just want to say, and I'm not saying that in a rude way, but it's like literally two messages up, the same thing gets posted. We have welcome messages that have been edited for people that are joining the chat, and they join and ask the same question. That does not help us. And we're trying to limit the amount of reports and posts so we can keep you updated. Because I can tell you right now, some of the platforms that people are moving to, my apps, the APKs are working, so that's a good thing. And in tests, things are going well for where we stand. So I feel great, and that's all I'm going to say. But like I said, patience and reading, because we've posted a lot of times. I mean, I've at least forwarded the same message 10 trillion times over the past 3 days, and my fingers are like bruised. So it's sort of like reading helps us, and that's what I will say. So if you guys are, definitely read up cats. Sorry, that's it. My little rant.
yeah, no, I agree with that too. It's you know, it's something that is very helpful because, and that's why it goes back to what I was saying with the YouTubers. You know, like they go on and they create all this chaos, and then people start asking a gazillion questions, and you know, you guys got to realize too out there that not everyone you talk to is going to have every answer for you. You know, like especially not in public, number one, but number two, they just may not have it because this is a first time that this has happened. And if you deal with a reseller or something of that nature, they're not going to know everything that's going on exactly, like where someone else is at, because they can't just, you know, they can go and ask the provider, and the provider may or may not have time to answer them. But the end result is that the end users want service and they want it to work. So the less questions that are asked, all you need to really just know it's being worked on nonstop. So as soon as things are normal, they're normal, you know, and the more questions that get asked and the more time people have to stop working on it to answer the questions, the longer it's going to take to get it done. Mm-hmm. So the patience aspect of it is key. You know, people got to realize, like, I get it. You know, if it was just like one service had a problem and there was that service's problem by itself, then that's a bit of a different story. You can say, hey, you know, I need an answer right now. I want whatever. Do I still think that's the right way to go about it? No. But, you know, you can. But when it's thoroughly explained that this issue is not a service provider issue and it's an across-the-board issue that every service provider has to work through, that should let you know that, you know, it's not something that it's not that your provider did something wrong or whoever you get your service from did something wrong and that just their service is messed up. It's something that needs to be addressed all the way across the board. And one of the good things I've seen so far through this is, you know, a lot of these guys, oh, you can hear the vibration of my phone, Fladneck? It's over there. But a lot of these guys normally are in some form of, in a way, competition with each other because they get, you know, subscribers and whatever. But in this moment in time, a lot of these guys are talking to each other and helping each other for the sake of just getting everybody back up and going. So, you know, that's one of the good things that I've seen come out of this scenario right now. And maybe that leads to more cooperation down the line and better help for one another in other aspects of things too. So We hear. Oh, that's probably. Is that? Yeah, it's Anthony's background. So,
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not doing any crane moving or anything over
yeah.
here.
No,
So.
I muted his audio.
Oh, all right.
What's up, Troop? Trooper's in the house too.
Some true.
But yeah, I mean, end result, don't listen to anybody that's, giving you some kind of apocalypse story and end of days story, whether it's on YouTube or anywhere else. It's not that. It's
Nope.
it's a hiccup that definitely was a good one, but it's only teaching people to be even more resilient. And any good, I honestly believe that any good provider is going to now, when it becomes available, end up with a backup panel and backup things like that. So if one goes down, you flip the switch, move it over, and it's going to cost them more money to do that. But at the end of the day, having this headache is Troop wants the link. I got you, Troop. There you go. At the end of the day, having this headache is something that doesn't, nobody wants to have that headache again, if possible. So I think you'll see more people doing whatever they can to ensure that that doesn't happen in the future. And they're like I said, Giorgio says people are stressed out with no TV. Most things have, I'd say the majority still do have service. Ones that don't are just either precautionarily taken down for the moment, or are in the process of trying to switch to some kind of new middleware that will get it back up and running. And I don't fault those people either, because they were trying to be proactive and get right on it. Troops coming in. What's up, Troop? Troopy Troop.
What's up, Troop?
What's going on, my peoples?
What's up?
Hectic all over.
Gilden's asking, where can I find Easy News at $60? They put it on sale like that occasionally, and they'll send, like, if you get an account, you'll probably get an email at a certain time with an offer. Usually, like, you'll probably find it on Black Friday would be the next time they'll do it, maybe in November. They'll offer. They usually do it in November. They just did it too, not that long ago. And as well, for you guys that don't have TV, I mean, there's Mobdro and LiveNet. Like, if you don't have anything right now and you only had one thing going, it's not the greatest stuff in the world, but it's free and it works. I'll put a link to that right here. Like, this is the Mobdro website. You can install that on your Android devices and watch TV. There's also LiveNet TV, right? Let me find that one for you. I'll put the link for that in there. I believe it's this one. Yep. For while these things are worked out, we don't, from my expectation, I don't think it's going to take more than, like, I don't want to give an exact time frame, but it shouldn't take that long. And in the meantime, you got those. And there are a couple of services out there that can add, subs. And, again, those are discussions not for here, but they are out there. And you can certainly ask them in private, and people will be more than happy to give you some info.
Yeah, Conrad. It won't at the moment. They're working hard, man. It's there was And there's not much more that can be said about it, but it will be back. So hold tight.
Yeah, I mean, Conrad, based off what you're saying, I see your thing there too. And the one that won't connect is, they're trying to switch that middleware now, and that's why it's not currently connecting. So they were trying to be proactive and jump out ahead and switch it, but it's not quite as easy to get all that stuff migrated as it would have
Correct.
seemed.
It's the migration.
Yeah.
It has to be done sort of either all together and depending on the DB that would crash basically, or it's got to be done individually, which takes a lot of time, folks, and effort and work. And I know they've been doing tireless efforts to get everything sorted, just like every other provider out there.
Yep.
Every provider is working to bring you guys your entertainment again. So please, I know it's like, my TV, but patience is key. And when this unfortunately is part of the growth here. This
and like I said,
great.
there, if you really need an option, join Telegram. There's, temporary options, for sure. So if you have nothing, then, there's very few, but there's a few out there. And, you can be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, Sean, because they have there's reasons for that, which I won't get into, but that there's several different types of middleware. Okay. And some of the applications is the issue. Okay. And the API. So it all depends on what platforms they were running on to begin with, on the main panel. So it really has nothing to do with that.
It's not about the solution.
It's not getting it figured out. It's the middleware, and their app system. You've got to understand, 99% of people that used extreme codes use Smarter's applications or similar to that. Certain panels have the same API. Those panels need to be updated to that, and those middlewares need to be updated so they can handle this stuff in load balance. So the ones that are getting it up quicker either have lower client base or they already had some sort of backup system in place prior to this, in my opinion.
Matt, that's what the telegrams are for, man. To answer your question, you get help there. Yeah, no, it's definitely good to see some. I mean, I won't name any of them, but there's one that had their own database and also had XC already. So that one was able to keep going. But what happened with that one is you can only get it, source wise. The resellers can't do anything. Mm-hmm. So they're still out, and a lot of services aren't like that, though. They used XC for everything. So, those have a trickier time. And then you also have to worry about, what your application is able to work with. You may need to have an entirely new application designed to work with a new middleware. So the one that you were currently using for a service that isn't working anymore, even if they migrate everything, they still need to get a new application that allows access to that new middleware for the clients to connect. So there's a lot, like, each service is going to have some form of a different time frame based on what their initial connection was like, how it was mapped out before this happened. It depends on how much work needs to be done. Yeah, secret agent said service, at least they emailed him. He said some service he had joined went down, and they emailed him saying they're switching to new servers and won't be back up until next week. It's probably that they lost their middleware, but, at least they said something. A lot, you got to look at that too.
All these services have been keeping updates for everybody all over platforms. So nobody can say, guys, all these providers haven't tried. I haven't seen any run.
Well,
for
you got to
the
remember too, though,
system.
Storm, that we tool around a little in there and we talk to people or whatever, but we generally don't talk to the ones that are not good because we realize they're not good. So
Right.
maybe some of those aren't telling people anything.
No, what I say is in other groups that I'm in personally, not in my own. I see that but yeah, I got. Oh, let's see. Oh. I don't know how they put timelines on things though.
Yeah, it's
Such as
it's hard
next
to put
week.
a timeline because every
I'm
scenario
not.
is a little different.
I can't say that. Anything like that, and I wouldn't. Everybody that asks me, I have no ETA because I am no clairvoyant. I never claim to be. So.
Yeah, I mean things like like the apps I just linked to above for Mobdro and stuff. Those will help you out. There's still, like I said, ability to get some services that are paid ones, but talking about that kind of stuff on YouTube is dumb. So do that privately. And you also got if you learn to navigate places like Reddit, you can find streams for a lot of stuff there too. There's there's a lot of ways to watch things, and that's what I mean when I say like it's they're not gonna ever stop this. The best thing they can do is jump in the ring and play ball, not sit here and try to do what they're doing now. It's never gonna work. Yes, Conrad. Someone asked me another question, and I think I missed it. Hold on. Oh, I answered the easy news question. Yeah.
Giorgio, I wonder why.
Ken Smith says, "What's a panel?" Without getting too technical about it, it's just think of it kind of like as the operating system for a service. If you have a paid IPTV service, the panel is kind of like the operating system that runs it. It's the graphical interface, because it's not really the system is still running. That's why a lot of these things are still running even though they can't sign up new people. Or extend accounts, and that's just because they can't access the graphical user interface that allows them to do that. But that's the closest thing I could give a description of as to what it is. It's kind of like the difference between having to, use MS-DOS or operate Windows. That's basically, the Windows is taken away by that middleware going down, so you lose your panel. But everything that the panel does is still operating in the background, just in a way more complex fashion, because you can't just click a button and do what you need to do with it.
Aaron Fontenay said, I like Reddit only for information, man. I would not post anything on Reddit personally.
I'm not advising people to post for services or anything like that on Reddit. I'm just saying that you can stream off Reddit.
Said Reddit is awesome. You can pretty much find anything on Reddit, discussion-wise at least. Yeah, I like to use it as a search to find to see, but I would never make a comment on there personally because you never know who's on that platform. It's just a mess, glad mag, in my opinion. Great for searches though.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys remember Project D from the from that add-on that was out for a while. I forgot what it was called before. It was Project D, where it had all the NFL and NBA and MMA and all that stuff was in there, replays and everything. All that stuff came off Reddit. Like, that person was able to create an add-on that pulled the live streams from Reddit, and it was one of the only ones to do that, and it worked very well. You know, Reddit's got large servers; it holds up well. It's not designed to be a streaming service or anything, but there are streams there. So you know, there's ways to get stuff. And there's more. I forgot. There was another one that's pretty good. An app. It's not the LiveNet and not the Mobdro. That's free. I can't remember the name of it though. Otherwise, I'd link it too. I'm just drawing a blank in my head right now. Yes, that is true. Hecky Deck. Probably
He is. I told him to
99.9%.
DM me already, True. Giorgio, you got to DM me, man. I put it in the chat.
Yeah, so essentially, guys, what you're, you know, when it comes to discussing these kind of things, you really want a private forum. I can't stress that enough. You need a private forum, and when you're actually doing something like getting an account, you want a one-on-one discussion. Don't do that in a group forum. Don't do that in anything. Make a one-on-one discussion somewhere with whoever you're getting it from, and just get it. You know, like that's the key. Is just, you know, be smart about it. Don't expect you know, anyone that's willing to give you like sensitive type of information on YouTube, or tells you now like, hey, just click this link and sign up here, or do this or do that. I would, nah. I'm not down with that.
Nope. I call that shady biz.
What's DM? That's a direct message, one-on-one, like what I'm talking about. You're gonna message someone privately. Darren asks, what's happening with my new channels? I was getting set to do the Shield video on the gaming channel, and then all this happened. But I'm going to try to do it hopefully today. I really want to. I want to get it done. Got my T5 here, and I'm going to wipe this out and load it up as an external drive with a bunch of ROMs on it. Someone asked earlier a question about ROMs and where to get them. Can't find it on Google. I mean, you could definitely find it. If it's just they try to make it a little harder, but you can.
Can you guys that are joining not offer free info in PM, because you're going to be banned as soon as you come in the door by me. I'm making a post right now. I don't know what your info is. I don't know what you got for free, but I'd like my members not to receive it. Thanks. Or
Yeah.
our members, rather. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, if you I see as Donald, if you have free info, you can feel free to post that in the group. You know, you don't have to like free, if it doesn't.
Well, he can't right now. He'll have to DM you or I, because I shut off link posting to group, because I don't know people are posting links all over the place. I don't really want it. So he can DM you or to check out the links first.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just boils down to making sure that any information that goes out to anyone in our groups is, you know, verified as definitely something that's okay. We're very
Exactly.
you know,
that's
we're
all
very,
I ask.
we've had a few instances in the past where people have, given people applications that ended up being bad. And so for that reason, we like to check them out first. Make sure that, whatever the links are or apps are, that they're, known to be all right. But what I was saying with this is normally my internal storage extension for the Shield, but I'm going to use this as an external storage as the option for my ROMs when I do the video for how to turn the Shield into a retro gaming monster. And then, because you're going to need storage. It's the one thing I'll tell you about that. Because ROMs take up space. I have like 80 gigs of ROMs. And I obviously can't fit that on the Shield, so need something to put it on.
I gotta go back to dress for work.
Is T5 I mean, I like the T5 DB. I think it runs great on the Shield, but I'm sure any SSD that's USB 3.0 or 3.1 will be fine. So if you find one that's cheaper, I wouldn't, I wouldn't shy away from it. But I just find that I have like pretty much, I've only had an issue one time with, it was actually with my T3, and that was where like it caused me an issue where I had to reset my Shield. But I hooked that same T3 back up, and it's never given me an issue again. So I just kind of stuck to them because I started with the T3s and migrated to the T5s, and I just know Samsung makes good storage, so I trust them, But if you find a SanDisk SSD, anyone that's a good company, SanDisk is probably fine. If it's cheaper, go ahead and get it. Stuff like that. I would say, any SSD is definitely better than any hard drive. I've found that plugging in large hard drives to the Shield creates an issue a lot of times where the Shield slows down over time. The more stuff you throw on that hard drive, because it has to spin and it's got its plate and all that stuff, unless it's an external drive. If it's an external drive, it'll still maybe slow it down a little bit the more data that's on it. But I would never make a hard drive, that's a spinning hard drive, like an internal storage option on the Shield. Yeah, T5 is the latest version. Yes, Vladnik says Kingston is also good. Just don't buy like some SSD you've never heard of the brand. You know what I mean? Make sure they're in the storage game. Because those SSDs can die very quickly. It depends on the quality of what they're building. Mario, thank you for subscribing to the channel. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mario.
I don't know why everyone says, Becco says we need a what is Telegram and how do we use it tutorial. Guys, it's really simple. If you have an iPhone or you have Android, you open up your store, right? And you just type Telegram, okay? And the first thing that pops up is this. You see that little symbol right here? That's Telegram. Install it, create an account, and you have Telegram. Like it's not hard. It's like having WhatsApp or having any other messaging thing, pretty much. All right, Kiko, take care. Thank you for the super chats and hanging out. Much appreciated.
Lee, I'm gonna send you something in Telly.
Okay.
I want you to look at this. Did you see this? And is it true?
I would say that's not true, just off the wording. Could be coming. It's pretty funny.
We need to look into that one before we speak out of group. What in the actual what?
But no, you know what? This is actually not a bad thing to discuss anyway, because I hate that. Like,
I
let's see
haven't
why.
read it. That's my issue. So I want to. I just laughed.
It's totally the wrong time frame if they were to do it. The guy's Cord Cutters News, right? Just put up an article that says, by the way, you can get your 4K Fire TV sticks for cheap, right? But there may be a new one coming next week. Everything is maybe. Nothing has been sent through the FCC. They have no information that actually says why they even think there would be a new one coming. So I'm not
Clickbait.
Yeah, I'm like, are you really like trying that hard to get some news going? I mean, it's totally the wrong time frame. They just made the 4K stick not all that long ago still. So.
And I just sent you another one. Hold on.
Oh yeah, if it's the new cube, it could be. Donald says it's the new cube, maybe. But if I don't see them in the FCC, which I have not seen a new fire, I always check for devices running through there. There's been no new Fire Stick that goes through the FCC. The cube has
Now
been
look
talked
what I
about for a
just
while
sent ya.
longer, so maybe that's what they're talking about.
I sent you something else on Telegram.
People joining the Telegram group, please put up picture profile. You don't have a
Well,
picture
truth is
profile.
gonna boot ya.
I'm gonna kick your ass out.
Yeah, and that's just another measure of preventing bots and preventing, and again,
Yeah,
the picture don't have to be you, but you just need to put a picture in there because that shows you're a human being that can change a picture.
Yep.
No, that shows that you want to be in a group, that you're not just trolling around.
That too.
Well, and that you can follow a simple rule that doesn't even have to be you. That's what it's mainly about. Because did you read it?
I'm looking at it right now.
Tell me,
This is not happening. That's total nonsense.
I want to know, cause isn't that a little contradictory in the two things I just sent you?
Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Isn't it? But I didn't.
Oh my God. So this says, another Cord Cutters News one. Best Buy and Staples are being sued for encouraging piracy and selling pirate devices. First of all, Best Buy and Staples do not sell any pirate devices. They sell NVIDIA shields and Fire Sticks. They have legit like devices that do not have any software preloaded on them for piracy. That's total nonsense. Yeah, this is ridiculous.
Isn't it?
I'm telling you, clickbait.
Right, but that's what spreads around, and that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That I personally
No list of who the plaintiff is at all, and it's only based
Right.
off of a CBC report. Oh, it's in Canada, so maybe, I don't know. Apparently the TV network Super Channel has filed a lawsuit against these 4 Canadian retailers.
that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, that's pretty ridiculous.
I hope it's. I don't know the truth to it, but
I can't even see that holding up unless those retailers are doing something different in Canada where they got preloaded boxes that they're selling off the shelves.
No, because most of them don't even load Cody. They'll load a fork, because if they're even doing it they ship blank. I don't know what that's all about.
Steven says their employees were encouraging customers to install piracy APKs. All right, well, that maybe, I don't know. That would be a really dumbass move by the employees, but, Yeah, Ron, I saw that. TiVo's coming out with a Android TV stick in 2020. It says early 2020. So that means it's going to have the Shield OS on a stick, which means that the Fire Stick's probably going to have some competition if they do that right. So I'm looking forward to that, to seeing, making some nice comparisons. So yeah, if they did that in Canada, then maybe they'll be in trouble. But I can't imagine that corporate of any of those companies, no matter if they're
No.
in Canada or not, was like, yeah, push these devices. If anything, maybe some rogue employees were trying to get their business into the store and did it on their own, and maybe those employees will get in trouble. But the company making an initiative to do that would be so dumb. I mean, they're billion-dollar companies. Like, they make millions or billions per year. Do it, as a legit business. It would be crazy. Thomas, you can try that. He says he has a 6 terabyte external drive, 500 gigabyte external drive, 2 terabyte external drive, and 4-port USB hub. That's going to be a lot to throw on the Shield, but you can try it. It can't hurt to try, and if it bogs it down, then you're going to have to narrow that down some. Yeah, that's a weird one, John. John gets better speeds on his Shield with Wi-Fi instead of the Ethernet. It could be a faulty Ethernet cable, maybe. I don't know, but I guess we'll see. It could be the cable, could be a port, but as long as you're getting good enough speeds with the Wi-Fi, then roll with it. If nothing else works, better. But my first guess would be a bad cable or port. And if it's the port on the Shield, then there's nothing you could do. If it's the port on the router, maybe try switching the port. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do this video hopefully today. I don't know if I'll finish it entirely today or post it, but that'll be on the gaming channel. I was meaning to do it this weekend, but obviously with all the stuff that happened, I was kind of busy, just looking into all that information, and I ended up working a little extra too, more than I thought I was going to. So. This is so weird.
Is that quick? Oh.
All right. So I get, what time is it right now? 2:23. I'll stay on till 2:30. So I'll stay on for like another 7 minutes. If you guys got some questions, feel free to ask them. And then I'm gonna wrap it up, just so I can maybe, hopefully, try to get some work going on this YouTube video for the gaming on the Shield. Base, yes, it's safe to use your phone number. You have to. You don't have to give your phone number to other people. Just give yourself a username, but it basically just verifies that you're using a phone that belongs to you. That's why they asked that. That's fine.
That's how you access your account on other devices too, is by adding that.
Yeah, like
phone
they have
number
a
that you
Windows
have it tied
client, so you'll have to verify it through your phone too. Like if you want to use it on Windows.
to. Yeah.
The main telechat that we have is Supreme Builds Chat. There's also a link for it on the homepage of this channel. It's been placed in the chat as well a couple times.
Well, I'll go grab it now then, because it's probably disappeared past the point where.
Eric, yeah, you can do that. You would have to set up network storage on the Shield, and then connect to that 8 terabyte hub if you want to try to access it on the Shield. Anthony asks, how did my antennas work on the MR1100 in my car? I haven't hooked up the antennas yet. I just been running it around regular for about a week, and it's been working really well, even without the antennas. But I have very strong signal here. I'm gonna take the antennas and maybe do like a road trip a little upstate to where the service isn't quite as good, and then be able to test the antennas better. I found that like if you have really strong signal, the antennas don't really do all that much, like but they help a lot more for people that have like a fair signal to get a good signal, you know. How will we know if we're in Supreme Build's chat? Once you have Telegram, just click on search and search Supreme Build's chat, and then you'll join it. It has a little blue logo, or you can just click the link on the YouTube page, or the one that's in this chat that Storm just put in there again. You'll know when you're in because there'll be a whole bunch of other people in there with you. Yeah, Eric, it'll be USB to the router, but
I'm not a bot.
it'll be USB to the router, Eric, but it'll show up as a it'll show up as a network device because it's basically turning that hard drive into a NAS drive by plugging it right into the router. Ron says, how secure is Telegram? Telegram is cool. Like it's in, like I said, in a group chat, like we have a group chat, you know, I wouldn't be giving out or saying tons of sensitive info, but you can certainly ask questions and they can be answered very openly in there. The only reason that I would say, you know, not to do that in there is because anybody could join the chat and be in there. And then, you know, but if you go one-on-one with somebody in a conversation, that's very secure. So, you know, essentially you can ask some general info in a group chat, go one-on-one with somebody privately and get more info, you know? And that's how I would handle that scenario.
Eric, they're all working on it, yeah. It's just at the same point. All working hard, it's going to work out. You just need patience.
Yeah, Anthony, are you traveling around the base with it, like in a vehicle, or is it stationary somewhere? Because if you're traveling around, I would say, you know, maybe try those antennas that I got that are meant for the car, and see how they do for you. The good thing is they're on Amazon, so you can always buy them, and if they don't help you at all, just return them. If you're more stationary, then I would certainly look for one of those bigger antennas that can go up on top of a building, or, you know, attached to a nice pole that are single directional, and you figure out which way your cell tower is and point it at that tower. And that would help a lot. Like, but that really only helps if it's in a, you know, if it's in a stationary position that you're not going to be moving around with it. Otherwise, go for some sort of omnidirectional antenna. What's up, Mango? Mango said, bad team, nice hat. All right, guys, about 2 more minutes. So fire away any questions you may still have. And Secret Agent says I think he's saying he's got a cheap cable company, pay $30 a month for unlimited download speed. That's cool. If you're in excellent coverage with the T-Mobile M1, I've gotten as high as 150 something megabits per second down in excellent areas. It drops as the signal goes, the speed will go, but I think I got like 158 megabits per second down and about 50 megabits per second up. El Padrino says, what soundbar do you recommend? Economical. Vizio, like any Vizio soundbar, they have just a soundbar if you're just looking for decent speed. Decent sound, nothing crazy. Just get a single soundbar. If you want to add, they have a package where there's a subwoofer you can get, 2.1 plus subwoofer. Those are going to be your cheapest ones. Oh, I see. T-Mobile and Orange over in the UK have joined to become EE. That's cool. T-Mobile joined with Sprint here now. So I don't know exactly what's happening with that. But yeah, Vizio is probably the cheapest one, El Padrino. That's going to sound good. You can get anything from just a single soundbar to all the way up to a 5.1 or 7.1 system. But Vizio generally has pretty good soundbar quality for the pricing. I would say they'll probably be your best bet as far as a cheaper option that's still pretty good. Black Friday around the corner. What are you looking for? PC parts. I want to see sales on PC parts so I could hopefully have a decent amount of money to start building a new PC. So that's what I'm going to be looking for this year. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. It's 2:31. It's been great chatting with everybody. You guys that jumped in to the Zoom meeting. Thank you for jumping in, Storm and Troop.
Thanks for having us, and stay supreme, everyone.
So, end of the video, I will say, don't freak out. Stuff is okay. Most stuff is working well. Even if it's not able to be administered 100%, still working. Things that aren't working are just because they're in the process of being updated. But none of these major actual providers and things like that were targeted in this issue that happened. So they're not trying to go anywhere. They're good. They're just working to replace some of this software that was affected. But they themselves are fine. So anyone that's telling you otherwise doesn't know what they're talking about. Don't listen to them. That's not to say that maybe one or two might get nervous or decide, hey, I don't like the idea of this, and it's enough for me to say I'm good. I don't need to do that. But that would be their choice. It wouldn't be because of anything that has already happened. And that's all I really got to say. So I hope that the information brought to you guys here today is, a little calming to anyone that was thinking it was something bigger than it is, or harder than it is, or that the apocalypse was upon us, because it's not. And stay supreme, stay good, enjoy the rest of your Sundays, and we'll be back very soon. So, Troop, you got anything you want to say to the people before we sign off?
Thank you all for coming. We'll see you on the next one. Like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Don't forget to join the Telegram group. Don't forget to join the Facebook group. You don't have a picture icon, I will kick your ass out. To all the haters out there, we love you. Stay supreme. Peace.
And Storm?
Peace. Stay supreme. And
That's it.
I'll remove the non-profiles too. I'm good at that. It's my evening entertainment, so. All right. Thank
All right,
you
guys.
Stay supreme. You guys are all awesome, and thanks for your patience. And Aaron, you keep getting muted because of stuff like that.
Guys, don't leave yet either. I'm gonna run the credits because everybody deserves their credits.
I'll unmute you in a few. Talk. Bye.
It's credit time, guys. So don't leave. Stick around for your credits. Give me 1 second. Here we go. Or maybe not. Well, I wanted to give you guys credits, but it does not seem to be working. I don't know why. All right, well, since it's not giving credits for whatever reason, thank you guys for your contributions. Thank you guys for your questions. I appreciate all you guys that subscribe, super chat, join the channel, ask questions, and are here for information. Thank you again. Be good, stay supreme. Peace out. I'm out of here.
Peace.